You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansided.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-hosts Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Good evening, Toronto Blue Jays fans, and welcome to a lovely evening with Jason Lyons and Craig Borden here on the Jay Bird Watching Podcast. We're going to talk all things Blue Jays and have a great time while we do it here on the Barroom Chat for Jays fans. Jason, how the heck are you? Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day, and today is officially my birthday. I know there's been a lot of talk about me extending my birthday out for a full week of shenanigans and hijinks. I'm all for it. Anyone who is not, then, get off the bus. Going to the Canadians game tonight. So it's all good, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful here in Vancouver. So the boys have a game in Vancouver tomorrow night, game in North Van on Saturday, and then we have to drive up to Kamloops for a doubleheader. So Sunday we'll have 6 hours of driving in between 4 hours of baseball.
That sounds slightly insane and crazy and all things fun at the same time. Just what it is, right? Yeah. So let's talk about the Blue Jays. We've been making it a long day for the New York Yankees. And we're going to dive deeper into this. I just want to get your cold, oh my God level. What's going on right now? What you thinking?
Well, I mean, it's funny because I hadn't started to watch either game. They were both on and functioning while I was doing things. And both times I checked early and the Jays were down. And I was like, oh, here we go. And then they have been so resilient against, are those two of the best pitchers in the league right now? And even the relievers they've been smashing around are considered to be the best, or one of the best staffs in the game. And it's so important for everyone to realize this, but the reason that they're doing as well as they're doing right now is because everybody underneath the top guys is contributing on offense and on defense, and the top guys are being the top guys. The top guys are getting hits when you need them to get hits. The top guys are putting enough fear into the opponents, obviously, to make it so that they are a feared group right now. And they look like there's very little that can slow them down right now. If they can stay healthy for the next month, they will be in such a good position based on just the way that they're playing baseball right now. There's very few teams in the majors that have this sort of, just cavalier, I don't care, we're going to outscore you when it comes down to the end of it. So go ahead, put up a couple. We like the challenge.
Yep. Friend of the show, I happen to be talking with Jeff Fry right on Twitter right before we were goofing around here on the show and everything. And I was talking with him back and forth. We were goofing around with some things that, videos and whatnot that were obviously online. And he's a very thorough old school baseball player, as we all remember from him being on the show the few times. And in the midst of that, we were chit-chatting about the importance of teamwork. He actually chimed in on a gentleman that we're going to talk to in a minute because he just finally announced his retirement. But the importance of team chemistry, and the thing that we were reading was that this gentleman's last go round here this season was not the tight dugout that he was assuming in, and this is for the Texas Rangers. This Blue Jays dugout is tight as far as all these guys, how they're working on each other. They're pulling out for each other. You can see it even just watching in the dugout with how they goof around with each other on the Sportsnet feed. Jason, we don't have that oh my God factor, but the fact that we have consistency all of a sudden across the whole thing, how much do you think that team chemistry is playing into that piece to it?
I think it's huge. I think that finally, after a number of years of guys like Springer and Bo and Vladdy, being together for as long as they have, you're starting to see a guy like Miles Straw, who seems to have fit right into the dugout. And then obviously the prospects. I think, as much as we hammer on the Blue Jays, management, I feel like one of the things they are doing right is the guys there's consistency from the Vancouver Canadians to the Fisher Cats to Buffalo, to make these kids feel like they're more of a team when they get to Toronto. Like, I mean, to put Will Wagner in, or to put Roden in, or to put, Barger in, or whoever it is, they all just seem to act and react and play the same, a similar way. It's no highs, no lows. Like even Barger, like, when it was that catcher interference call yesterday was massive, but a first year guy or a year in a change in guy usually doesn't have that kind of confidence where he's like, looks right at the ump. He's like, no, like that's catcher interference. Like you got to get that. I think that it's a culture thing. I think that Schneider finally sort of has the culture that he wants. I feel like Mattingly taking a bit of a backseat helped that. I don't know that much about Don Mattingly, but I do know, and you were we were together last year, talking about this. Mattingly seems to be a bit of a cooler. He seems to be a bit of a guy who kind of, quells the fun. And now he's sort of moved back out of the picture a little bit and grown his hair out. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe long-haired Don Mattingly is what we always needed, and we didn't even know it.
I'm going to have to show you the baseball card I had in my hand the other day, because trim those sideburns, Mattingly.
Yeah, I saw it. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I sent you that one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome. It was a Topps triple thread card, and it actually, instead of it saying Yankees or Mattingly in the name where the jersey, sock, and bat pieces were in this card, it actually literally said sideburns. And I'm like, I'm not even a Yankees fan, and I'm sitting here going, I want that because I just think it's the funniest baseballism ever that you can have on a baseball card. So, but anyways, you mentioned that chemistry part. I'm looking at the sheet here that has the most turnover rate in Major League Baseball. And there's some big teams on this list, and the Blue Jays are number 7 on this list with a 24.4% turnover rate this season, with the injuries, the ins and outs and whatnot, and all this kind of stuff. That's a lot.
Yeah. I think
it goes to that point.
Yeah, and the young guys, or the guys that maybe not your A players, the Class A's and the must straws, and I mean they've been hurt, but they haven't been hurt so bad that they've had to leave the team. And I think that does significant enough damage when it happens. I mean, Scherzer has looked good. I mean, he's right back to a raving lunatic, which is awesome. I mean, it's what you want. I thought he was going to rip his shirt off when Bo Bichette made that play in the hole. Yeah, like that. Like, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy watching him play baseball. But, these guys seem to have where last year and the year prior, like Davis Schneider had an injury that kept him out for a long time. I mean, the only guy that's been out has been Varsho. And I mean, as all things are pointing to him coming back healthy, I mean,
soon.
Yeah, and he looks good. I saw some of the footage of him working out, and it's like, wow. Hopefully he comes back hungry enough to want to snatch one of those spots away from these guys, so we don't, we don't end up looking back and saying, why did we pull, person X out of the outfield to put Varsho back in when they were so hot.
And that's kind of the catch at the end of the day, because right now the outfield is hot.
Yeah. So is Ernie Clement. Holy God.
Oh, Ernie Clement, monster. Yeah. Is he ever going to miss a bat? Did you see that swing he had in the one where he had the RBIs yesterday? He just threw that bat head at it, and it's like, oh my God. And he starts running, and it gets a single out of it, and he drives in a pair.
I find it interesting, and I don't know if you saw this or not, but after that game, they were talking to it's Brett Boone, or Aaron Boone? Aaron Boone.
Aaron.
Brett's his brother. Anyways, they were talking to him about, some of the Yankees A players, not doing their job offensively and defensively. Like when you've got to move Jazz Chisholm to play third, where he doesn't play third, and he's not very good.
Doesn't look like he wants to either.
Yeah, I don't understand it. And you've got these guys that are underperforming, and I mean, to me, it's mind-boggling to be at this part of the season with them doing as well as they have, and now the wheels are starting to fall off. And all it took, and I've said this in the past before, teams that don't have heart, all they need is a little push, and it's the end. I mean, the Edmonton Oilers have proved it for 2 years in a row. They don't have any heart. You're never going to win the whole thing without it, right? And so you're looking at the Yankees, who are a paper team. They have been for the last 10 years. They don't seem to have any chemistry or any kind of anything. And it's interesting. Like, you look at Max Fried last night, and I mean, he couldn't look like he's having less fun. Like, even when he's winning, he looks like he's having a terrible time. But in Atlanta, he seemed to be pretty fun and laughing, and it's, I don't know.
And that's one of that same player I mentioned about the click not melding together and whatnot in the Rangers locker room said he wishes he had one more year in Atlanta because it was the exact opposite. Very tight-knit group, very high performing. It is Kevin Pillar, but we're going to get to him in like 0.2 seconds. So, but to that point, exactly. So let's talk on that one. Kevin Pillar, and after a 13-year Major League Baseball career, has decided it's time to hang it up. There's been some wonderful things that have obviously happened in his career, some great pieces. It was a monster part of a great Toronto Blue Jays team in the mid 2010s there in the 2015-2016 area. Just insanely talented, great, awesome, hell of a locker room guy, and I loved watching him down in the minor leagues. One of those guys, Jason, that grinded everything out and just kept going, toss it out.
I mean, so here's what a person and a player like Kevin Pillar can be. So for any of the kids out there that are listening, my kids remember very few players from the Vancouver Canadians, going to watch them, all of the rest of it. We all remember going to see Kevin Pillar. He was a joy to watch in the field. He looked like he was having the time of his life at all times. He had nothing but time for kids. He's signing autographs, doing all the things, and having fun with them, interacting. I actually find that the Blue Jays organization that runs the Vancouver Canadians has done a really good job of making sure that the Vancouver Canadians are really fan up front. Like, you'll see them. My friend has seats that are right at the on deck circle. So, I mean, you're literally face to face with these guys pretty much. And all of them talk to you that speak English. The guys who don't will like give all the kids fist bumps as they come along, but they're interacting, and like some of them are really funny guys. And like Nick is we're going to see Nick, friend of the show, later today. And just to have them come down and like make fun of the kids' hats or make fun of their, their shirts or whatever. And it's good times. And, I feel like that is what's, again, I don't get to see anything in New Hampshire or in Buffalo, but I feel like that's the culture that they're breeding. And to be honest with you, I mean, it's awesome that they're hot right now, but I think it's better that the fans and the people who've been loyal to this team are starting to see something different from them. They're starting to see, a team that's interacting and, like you said, having fun and all the rest of this stuff. So for me, Kevin Pillar has been that guy. He's been, Superman. He always was. He made 5 or 6 of the most amazing catches I ever saw. And every time they told him he was finished, he was over the hill. He made another team and produced, and he
did that for another 5 seasons in his career easily in his 13-year career, and just found something way to stick on every team he played with. It's insane.
Gamer,
but go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, he's a gamer. He loves playing the game of baseball, and I'm sure that he would keep going if he could. But cheers to him. Hopefully we can. I know I'm going to try and start efforting to get him on the show. As we try to get the most handsome Blue Jays in history on. So Liz isn't here, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So
Liz makes sure we always have the Blue Jays babes.
Yeah.
So good deal. But on that note, talking about Kevin Pillar, I was trying to get his stats to come up here. Obviously, he had a rough season this past year, but at the end of the day, like I said, you can't have the success we had in 2015 without having Kevin Pillar steal the center field job. People forget that. He barely made the team, comes up, steals literally home runs in left field, and they're like, you know what? That would work in center. And they moved him over to center, which was more of his minor league position. And they had a great run there where he's finally getting a full-time job to play with the Toronto Blue
mean,
Jays at the age of 26 in 2015.
How about this? Did you know he was originally drafted as a Jay?
Yeah, he was one of the few guys at that time that actually came up. And
number 979 pick. So
yeah,
he went to
32nd rounder.
Cal State Dominguez Hills. Like, I mean, that's not a div. If you're scoring at home, that's not a Div 1 school.
And
but he's a career
to that point, a round that
255
doesn't even exist in the Major League Draft anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't make it. But
Like,
he's
another
255
17
hitter,
extra rounds.
293 OBP. Like, I mean, he was a gamer. He reminds me so much of Ernie Clement. That he just, when you need him to, he just puts his foot down on the pedal and he just goes. He can do anything you need him to do. I seem to remember in some of that run when the Jays were really good back then, they had him moving around a little bit too. Like, I feel like I remember him playing the infield a little bit and playing the outfield. I thought he played a little bit of third base one year.
That might have been before he was all day, every day.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. So
no,
I don't know. I've always liked him.
Major league level was all day, every day, an outfielder or DH.
Yeah. So I liked him the whole time he was around. He's a good dude. Hopefully we can nab him for the show.
Yep. Good deal. But at the end of the day, you mentioned the value got on the glove. Did win a Gold Glove. Didn't. So, and that was mostly because of that guy named Kevin Kiermaier that was always in his way for getting a certain piece of hardware. But in 2015, as his first season fully, plays 159 games after never playing more than 50 at the major league level. Had a 5.1 WAR that season for the Blue Jays that ran into the postseason. You imagine what that doesn't do for the Blue Jays if you don't have that in the lineup, especially where he was near the bottom as that guy that really helped spin it around for the big boppers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have that in spades right now too. Like the bottom of the Jays lineup right now is spinning things around without even question. And the nice thing about it is I feel like at any point right now they could move someone down or up, and they're still going to execute. The Jays have troublemakers all the way 1 through 9 at this point, and it's really nice to see guys like Kirky really starting to mold into a prototypical, not physically, but every other part of him catcher. I mean, he's I don't know if you guys have seen this stat or not, but his batting average with 2 strikes is like 313 or something like that. So do you know what the league average is?
Probably 200 at the most.
No, it's like 140 something. And he's at 3 something. Like it's
pulling that up almost.
It's like he's playing a different sport with 2 strikes. He might as well just swing at the first two. But
exactly.
The other thing that I noticed was that guys like Kirk, guys like Clement, even Bo Bichette, right, like before he got hurt, was they were taking counts much deeper than they had been in the previous months. And if you look back at a couple of the teams that have won the World Series very successfully, they have multiple pitch at bats. They have guys on their team that can grind out a 7, 8, 10 pitch at bat. Josh Donaldson used to be very good at it. Matt Chapman used to be really good at it. He still is. But just guys that can just grind it, just put a bat on it, even close to the zone. And eventually they have to come in. It has to come into the middle of the plate. I mean, George Springer has been doing it so well. I mean, George Springer right now is
in fuego.
Well, he's just on another planet. And it's so nice to see because he's able to swing at pitches that he wants to swing at. He's not struggling to try and hit stuff that isn't quite his, like a slot. And I think that the pitchers sometimes think, he probably won't hit it out anyways. He's got 16 home runs. Like, who would have thunk it?
And 2 of them yesterday. And I was reading the stat that over the last, few weeks, he's got 17 RBIs. So that means 16 RBIs. Before yesterday's game, that means he had Had 7 of them already, or 6 of them already. Already doubled it up almost with one game. I got to put this comment up with Michael Borland here, our buddy. Talk back to Kevin Pillar, such a warrior. This is exactly the best description of Kevin Pillar. He is such a good outfielder and doesn't have any respect for his own body that he would go running into the wall and catch a ball at Wrigley Field into the ivy and brick to catch the ball. And that's a great story, Michael. I appreciate that because, yes, he did play with the Cubbies for a hot minute. So good stuff. But yeah, the one thing that I found was, like I said, I'm going to post this up because this is a beat reporter for the Kilisa came out. It said basically that the Kevin Pillar was just not feeling it in the clubhouse this year with the Texas Rangers, and it was just time. I guess when it's the same thing when baseball becomes no longer any fun and it's just a job, maybe it's time to walk it off, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you certainly, I think that with anything you want, like I listened to Joe Thornton talking the other night after he realized, or after he got the call for the Hockey Hall of Fame. And I mean, Joe Thornton played, I don't know, 26 years in the NHL or something ridiculous like that. Never won a cup, barely even came close to one. And to hear him, like, just his pure love for playing the game, I think that it starts to wear thin on you too. Like a guy like Pillar, who goes from the Jays to the Angels to the to Cubs to the this to the that to the this. You kind of get to a point where you're like, all right, like all this is fun, but I don't have it in me anymore to keep pushing that hard. But I mean, anyway. It allows for turnover. It allows for new players to get in, and I mean, certainly the Jays are right in it right now. With Varsho potentially coming back, like who do you sit? Who do you take out of the lineup? I mean, I keep thinking to myself, well, it's Miles Straw, and then he goes 4 for 4 and steals 2 bases, and you're like, well, you can't take him out. Maybe it's Class A, and then it's like, oh, he went 3 for 4. So you're like, what are we doing here?
I gotta clarify and reckon myself here a little bit because Michael was clarifying it wasn't when he was with the Cubs, it was when he was with the Blue Jays and he was on a trip. And then there's this unfortunate tidbit because in that time frame in 2017 things weren't so good. So of course we got swept. That's what 2017 basically was. So don't worry, we're gonna be good was all I remember hearing that year. With Kendrys Morales and what was the other one? Not Horsler. Yeah, I lost it. But anyway, insert random noise here. Breaking news. So Vlad Jr. is officially going to be an AL All-Star starting first baseman for the 4th time in his young major league career. Jason.
Golf club.
Come on. What is that? That's awesome.
I mean, we every now and again, you get really lucky. The Jays are really lucky that they got Vladdy. And I think that we certainly we kicked the crap out of the bag when they were messing around with him. And now you read the stories and you're like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I think that we sort of undervalued what Jays management was doing there. They were playing chess while we all thought they were playing checkers. And I mean, it was really smart. They've locked Vladdy up. Vladdy seems to be comfortable and happy. I mean, whoever thought when he came up with those big blonde, remember the big blonde dreads, and he couldn't, I thought we were going to have to get him a chin strap for his hat because it never stayed on. And he was a third baseman. And now he's not only transitioned his physical body into a more fit person, but he has transitioned into one of the better first basemen in the league. Like physicality, he can hit the ball. He knows how to play the position well. He's really he's really just absolutely crushing it. And it's great to see. Is New Brunswick guy kidding, or am I out to snacks?
We're going to get to that in 0.2 seconds. 1 sec. I want to finish our fun with this Vladdy thing because that is 100% accurate. More breaking news. With the Vladdy thing, he is now there's only 2 other Toronto Blue Jays that have made 4 All-Star games as a Blue Jay. Do you have any idea who those 2 might be, Mr. Jason Lyons.
Sorry, what did you say? Go one more time. What did you say?
So Vladdy now has 4 All-Star game starts in his pocket.
Yeah.
As soon as he shows up for this game, there's only 2 other Blue Jays that have started 4 Major League Baseball All-Star games in Blue Jay uniforms. Do you have any idea who they might be?
Jose Bautista?
That would be one right on the nose, my friend. The other 2, you're going to have to go back to the glory days.
Jeez. Olerud?
Nope. Part of Whamco.
What about Robbie Alomar?
Robbie Alomar would be the other one. So well played, sir. But yeah, there's only
Just
now.
needed a minute.
Like I said, soon as Vladdy shows up at the All-Star game in a Blue Jay uniform, he automatically joins that club. And I have a strange feeling he might break that record. I don't know why.
Oh yeah,
hedging the bet.
I mean, and we don't even realize it. He's still so young, and I mean, he has a really, really, really long, big career ahead of him, and I'm happy for the slice that we've had with him. I'm happy that we've got him for more. But I mean, good for him.
All right.
Good for him.
So cool. So we got to get to New Brunswick, Canada, guys. I'm watching the box score over here on my left because I live in freaking New York and it's blacked out. I can't watch it. I've been listening to it on the damn radio all week. So, but there is some very cool breaking news going on here as the Blue Jays are just destroying Will Warren of the Yankees right now. Will Warren is currently already got 7 earned runs, Jason. So
Wow.
It's getting out of hand, and it's getting out of hand quickly. It started with the bases loaded. Alejandro Kirk hitting a double. So to the just missing, because he was the other All-Star game finalist. Apparently he didn't take it so well. He's going to take it out in the American League. So Cal Riley was the one that obviously is going to be starting for the catching position at the All-Star game, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Cal Riley's not having the season that he's having. Kirky is easy to starter. So Big Dumper's got tons of home runs, just saying.
It's crazy.
So anyway, I'm going to pull this clip up because I don't know what this poor baseball did to Addison Barger, but he was not very nice to it.
Let's hold on just before you do
after
it.
the Kirky double, go for it.
We just talked about this. So I've come to realize that Addison Barger's swing I've seen before. And do you know where I've seen it before? It's the dad of the guy who plays first base for the Jays. He swings exactly like Vladdy. I mean,
controlled hurricane-ish.
Yeah, and like you said, he is so mad at those baseballs. No swings.
I think he was watching Jose Canseco highlights for a long time, following the motto I unfortunately still carry onto a golf course even, which is swing hard in case you hit it.
Yeah. If it happens to, I watched a really cool video on Barry Bonds talking about, if a catcher can catch 103-mile-an-hour pitch, I can catch it too. I just catch it with something else. I don't catch it with my hand. I catch it with bat. Yeah.
And that's exactly it too. But let me go to this clip because you're going to be like, holy shnikes.
Oh, that's a deep part. Oh, Lord.
The flight deck takes that.
That was oh my goodness.
Yeah. Wait for it to come back up here again because it's going to go bang. You don't leave that over the plate for freaking Addison Barger to do that. Jeez. That was just that one pitch right there sums up how much fun Will Warren is having this evening. They batted around so far, and it's still going. Right now, Springer is back up again. It is the second time in the same inning. Andres Jimenez is once again on first base, who led off the game with a single, and it's just going to keep dumping on him. I can't believe I haven't seen Will Warren is still in there. Do you think he's already the sacrificial lamb with 7 earned runs in the first inning?
Well, I mean, what do you do? It's funny. This happened to us on the weekend. We were playing against a team that is not as strong as we are. And we got down 8 in the first inning. And I mean, your plan goes out the window, and you're like, well, we had one of our better starters, and they're just smashing them around. So you've got to either dig in and find it, or
There's this whole problem too that I was actually going to get to, but obviously New Brunswick, Canada guy's on the fire again tonight. Yanks pen is also toast after the first 2 games of the season or series. I mean, so at the end of the day, who they bring in? Like I would not be shocked that Will Warren's just left out here to dry, so that they, maybe has something for Game 4 of this series. But the inning is finally over.
wow.
So it's been finally recorded. George Springer struck out to end the inning, but had a hit in his first at bat in the inning. Meanwhile, Andres Jimenez went 2 for 2 in that inning.
I like that he's starting to show, like, we all remember how good he was in the preseason, right? Don't we?
Yeah.
And we were like,
and the first week clean up hitter.
Did we ever steal this guy from the Guardians? And then he went colder than ice.
And the reality set in.
So it's
I got to show you the other home run in the inning, Jason, because Babe Schneider strikes again. And I saw this thing on Twitter right before the game. Like I said, I was goofing around, chit-chatting with Jeff Fry and a few other people and whatnot, just back and forth and from our Twitter account. And it was the clip from Dumb and Dumber where he was walking out of the bar and he saw the newspaper clipping. We landed on the moon, and it was somebody had written over it, and it said David Schneider is starting his 3rd game in a row. And then he goes, "No way, that's awesome," and rocks off. Tonight would be why you did that, because, like I said, he hit this ball pretty stinking hard. High ball in the zone, goes over that big left center field wall, finds its way into the seats.
Yeah, compliments to mustaches and Budweiser.
I know, right? So, but yeah, if you don't leave a hanger to David Schneider, he finds a way to always turn on those nice ones like that too. But Will Warren, man, not quite up on the par this evening.
Hey, Craig, I'm going
to the point. Will Warren is the reason the Yankees is a good summation of how good the Yankees are doing right now. Go ahead.
I'm going to warn you. My computer is dying on me officially, and I don't know why my computer won't charge. So if I just all of a sudden black out, then that's what's up. I'm trying to get it to
We're just gonna have a nice brief episode tonight if you end up having computer difficulties and drop out.
Weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyways, let's go until the wheels fall off, shall we?
Yeah. Why don't we have some fun then? If you're gonna have the wheels fall off, let's get the fix the click thing out of the way before I lose you. And there it is. Didn't get it. We'll hold it over for next week. So, but Blue Jays fans, I see plenty of you in the chat. Hit me up here while I give Jason a chance to come back into the chat. If not, we're going to end a little bit early this week because I can only talk so much on my own. I know my friends will obviously make fun of me plenty for that. So, New Brunswick, Canada guy, well played. That might actually fix our run differential if the Blue Jays actually do continue to destroy the New York Yankees like they have the last 2 days now. The run differential actually was +4 after yesterday's game with George Springer's 7 RBIs and everything like that. So really crazy, really fun. But at the end of the day, this offense is really finally starting to click. And the question is, what happens? Where do we go from here? And I do think there's plenty in the trade market here that makes this team even better at the end of the day. So there's my buddy.
Look at this. You ever see a screen like that? That's not good.
No, I have not. It's not a good advertising for a MacBook.
It's some Windows pile of crap. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Right, you just had to buy a new one today, too. So my let's just say my laptop is no longer a laptop because the battery will no longer take a charge.
I'm worried that's what's happening with that one. It's an old one from work, and it may have dealt its last.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, we're just talking that hey, Blue Jays are scoring runs in bunches. We've been pitching well. All these great things. Now, see, there's a good reason your laptop died right there. You get to go have a beer outside.
Oh, look at it. It's beautiful out here. Look at land of milk and honey here.
There you go. So, anyways, we talked Barger. We talked David Schneider hitting a home run. Beautiful hit, man. I just can't believe it. And I hope that story is finally back to the way it should be, because he is just such a fun player to watch and a great person when I met him. And so I'd love to see him keep winning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate sometimes when that does happen and you start to see somebody potentially where, like I never thought he was a flash in the pan, but I also thought that there was the potential that, that might have been the end for him when we were starting to see, him not perform like we assumed he was going to just keep performing like. So it's interesting. But the other thing I realized is Paul Goldschmidt is a huge man. Like I never knew how big he was. He's standing beside Aaron Judge, and I'm like, oh Lord, you're a giant man.
Is it the pinstripes or the Yankee uniform that just makes him look like he's 30 feet taller? Because I never noticed that when he was in a D-backs or a Cardinals jersey. He just looked like he was an average sized man. It's freaking crazy. So did I lose you again, bud? Always something. So anyways, on that note, we're going to keep talking all things Toronto Blue Jays baseball. We have all sorts of great things coming. Like I mentioned, we're going to have actually our buddy Anthony from Major League Brews is joining us next week. He was supposed to be here tonight. Anthony, in case you're watching, cheers, bud. I got my Genesee Brewery Kolsch here for you. We'll have some talking and hopefully we don't beat up the Yankees too bad for you to the point where you lose faith or anything. But the Blue Jays are in that tipping point where what do they do? Where do they go? How do they get better? Because this is just crazy. And Jason, welcome back. The interview with Ross Atkins the other day, the key takeaway from that was that he said they're going to flex their muscles financially and trade-wise at the trade deadline. And that has me intrigued because it doesn't sound like you don't have the assets we had in 2015 to push it all in. But we do have some nice things here, and we are in a financial place that maybe it's just taking on a butt ton of money.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to hear who they would target. Like it's. Oh my goodness! Have you seen Barrios' shoes? They're gold. Anyway,
they're awesome, aren't they?
The Canada ones. Anyways,
I'll find them.
It's so hard to know what they would want to go after. Like the wheels all seem to be moving forward right now for most parts of the Jays. I mean, I know we've had problems with Fluharty and a few other guys, so it would be nice to get a reliable, couple of really reliable arms in the dugout or in the bullpen. But I mean,
we got one of those back today.
I feel like
Jimmy Garcia has been re-added to this team as of today, so he's back in the bullpen right now. Mason Fluharty was the unfortunate one that got the ding, but he has been having a rough time of late, so I'm not surprised he's going to go down to Buffalo, get his head straight while some of these other pieces fall into place. I do have some of the one team that seems to not be going away in Blue Jay Rumorville, and that is the Arizona Diamondbacks. And there's some good tradable assets there with Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen as starting pitchers. The big fish on the trade market right now apparently appears to be Eugenio Suarez, who has just been, eating National League pitching for a living. He's got 29 home runs, 50-something RBIs already. But you imagine being able to bring him in at third base in the middle of this lineup? Be slightly obnoxious.
That'd be the only, positionally, that's really the only position where the Jays might be, slightly weaker than the rest of the field. But
just means Barger to be playing right field all day, every day is my guess.
Yeah. I mean, Barger is starting to even just made a nice play right there, but he's starting to be really consistent out there. And I think for Addison, I don't think he cares where he plays. I think he just wants to play. And the more reps he gets, the better he is. And I mean, I'm not sure if we last year thought he was going to be as good as he is, or if anybody did, but he's really proving to be a high level baseball player who can, you can move around the diamond, and he seems to be able to, it doesn't matter if you're a lefty or a righty or whatever kind of pitch you throw, he can hit it, and he can hit it a long way. And so, I mean,
we're pretty greedy too. Just saying.
What's that?
Brunswick's all over the get me Naylor while you're at it because he's
I don't
also
know.
a Diamondbacks uniform. But yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, those are the one rumor that can't go away, and the Blue Jays have been linked to the Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen part heavily. So not knowing if Scherzer's going to stay healthy, are we going to keep getting the best out of Eric Lawler? All these things do spell that would be a good spot to build this team up a little bit.
I don't disagree with you. So I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm always surprised. Like, I'm always interested when teams, when they do make a move that, sometimes it ruins sometimes it spoils the milk, and other times it's a really good idea. And it's interesting to me, like George Springer is playing himself into an everyday guy. You cannot take him out of the lineup. And I mean, I feel like at the start of the year they probably thought, well, this guy's a little bit expendable. But it's interesting to me it'll be interesting to see who they start to target when they do.
So let's go back to this game because I want to talk about the Yankees series in general, because this is obviously massive, and I just think it's hilarious too. I also just read that those home runs from Davis Schneider and Addison Barger, 109 miles off of the bat for Barger, 103 for Davis Schneider. So
I'll bet you the ground ball that Vladdy just hit was 100. Like he's just absolutely ripping the wallpaper off the ball.
But so this was obviously the biggest test the Blue Jays have had so far, Jason. We have all these wonderful things going in our direction as we're going to wrap up the hour here and whatnot. How important was this to just while we are home playing against the best team in our division at the beginning of this series? Obviously, they've been slowly bleeding, it seems like, but I think the Blue Jays smelled blood in the water and they've jumped all over that. And how important is that for this rest of the confidence in this team?
It's huge, massive. I mean, you have to show that you can beat the Yankees or the Dodgers or whoever it is, whoever the big dog in the yard is, because they're going to be there come the end of the year, right? There's the Yankees aren't going anywhere. They're not gonna fall out of the 1 or 2 spot, I don't think. And if they do, then I mean, wow. But let's count on them sort of staying 1 or 2. You've got to compete with them and potentially beat them in a series, and that's what something like this does. Is it shows you that the right combo of pitching, hitting, and attitude can beat any team. And so you've really got to take these ones, put them in the vault, make sure that when you play them later on in the series or in the season, I mean, you're letting their pitching know. Remember last time you came here and we smashed you around, and you brought your best, and we were better. So it's good for the Jays. It's good for their confidence. It's just good all the way around. Beating good teams is always good for you.
Yeah. And to Michael K's dismay, he can't believe, and he was all over the internet and talking during the broadcast yesterday, how are the Blue Jays beating us? We have a 105 positive run differential. The Blue Jays had before yesterday a negative number. So it's like, that's not how this game is played, Michael K. It's not on paper. You got to win ball games, and it's about keeping it close. And you look at the few bad weeks we had there with Blue Jays fandom, where we were just letting up every home run you can think of. The runs were just might as well have been in a conga line going around against us for a couple of weeks there. You wonder how a run differential goes bad really, really quickly. You have a couple of bad weeks, kind of like what the Yankees have run into the last 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, and the Yankees got pumped by who was it? The Angels, just prior to this, and they look like they just haven't gotten out of it. Where the Jays got beat up by the White Sox and seemed to come out of it okay. They were kind of like, oh well, we lost a couple of games. Oh well, whatever. I mean, resiliency helps. I mean, it's like I'm just watching the game right now. It's Wednesday. The stadium is, I would say, more than 3/4 full. I know Liz is there, but it all helps. It all helps when you can fill up the barn and people are excited to come to the games. And when you're hitting home runs and you're all kinds of stuff's going on. So it's all good.
Yeah. Regardless of the fact that in 2015 we were, still a negative 500 team at the All-Star break, and then all the chips got pushed on the table and went streaking all the way to the playoffs. This feels summer of 2015, 2016. The vibe, the feeling,
A little bit,
all
yeah.
these wonderful things happening around this team. Just the love that I'm already seeing, even in here in Western New York. The Blue Jays hats are plentiful all of a sudden around Buffalo here.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Like I've noticed. I mean, obviously Canada. Oh, is that another one? Oh no, he didn't get it.
No,
I thought Barger hit another homer.
It's amazing. Even his foul balls look like they go like a country mile.
It was caught. It was caught by the left fielder, but it had a good exit launch when he hit it. Just died on the vine a little bit, but nonetheless.
So we're going to be playing the Yankees again in Toronto near the end of the month, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, which includes Salsa Night on Wednesday that week. Party people. So we don't actually play the Yankees in New York until like September.
Yeah, didn't we play them at the start of the year when it was like 2 degrees or something?
Something like that. Yeah, they play the Yankees the beginning of September, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So this is the season series right there.
Yeah,
I know I'm going back in time here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, going back in time to see because they do have a makeup game. Oh no, they play the doubleheader, so it's for right now. The season series literally as of going into today's game was tied.
Wow!
So because they took two out of 3 against us earlier in the season, and we've taken the first 2 so far to level that back out, and scales tipped in the right direction tonight. So. Good times, but that's interesting.
Let's get our picks to click rolling here. I'm going to as soon as Kim gets home, we're off to the game. So
Roger that. So all right, our picks last week were Jimenez, Kirk, Lucas, and Vladdy. And I think I got to go with Vladdy, and we know who picked Vladdy last week.
Yeah, I mean it's on again, off again, Liz.
Yeah, she. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I have a leg to stand on, but I'm going to be that guy who at least looks it up for last week. George Springer would have been the right pick.
Yeah, I thought Luke's was going to be a good pick. He had a couple of hits early, and then he had that super important RBI, and I was like, oh, might have something here.
Jason, you and I we got a debate we're going to have to make here because according to the hits over the last week, there is somebody that actually might have beat Vladdy in that group.
Kirk?
Andres Jimenez.
Oh,
Andres Jimenez last
fire.
week.
And
he had 6 hits, a home run, 7 RBIs. Vladdy had 5 hits, a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs.
Yeah, so Jimenez has got to get it.
Edge Jimenez.
Yeah.
Jimenez gives the best spot the win. So there you go. And we're going to have Anthony from Major League Brews on next week because of scheduling fun that we ended up having last minute. So we got the open guest spot. I'm going to give the guest spot a better chance to win this week because of that. But Jason, go ahead and give me your pick for this week.
All right. Well, I think that it seems silly to not do it, but I'm going to take George Springer. I mean,
there you go.
I can't see him slowing down.
Had another hit tonight.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ride Ernie because he's been just doing so good. Such a great player.
Yeah. He's hitting
all the right things.
In the last 31 games, he has a 380 average.
Yeah. Slightly obnoxious. I almost had to see that. Yeah. That's 34 hits in 26 games. Who does that? I got to go back though. 7. So the worst player for the Blue Jays is who Liz gets. She's going to get the Miles Straw is the most all day everyday player. That was last week.
Yeah.
Straw. And let's be nice to the guest spot this week. Let's give Vladdy to the guest spot.
I agree.
They actually won one.
I agree.
And then we'll give our buddy Anthony next week a better pick at that whole thing. So, Jason, anything you want to get off your chest or talk out before the end of the show here?
No, thanks for all the birthday wishes from all my friends, family, colleagues, all the rest of it. Obviously, it's a lot of fun. Happy Canada Day to everybody post. Elbows up. I was really overly impressed with the amount of Canadian flags I saw driving around and stuff like that. So even though that there's, things appear tough in the world, sometimes I feel like what's happening down south is actually bringing us together as a country rather than tearing us apart. So fun. And it's a fun time to be a Blue Jays fan and a fan of baseball. The baseball that's going on, appreciate the baseball that's going on right now. I watched a couple of Cincinnati games, and holy, are they good? And, it's just, baseball's really fun right now. So yeah, dig it.
With all the stupid shit going on in my country, just south of you, my friend, if baseball was stupid right now as a Blue Jay fan, I'm pretty sure I would be in hell. I have one thing every night I can hang my hat on and know I'm going to have fun. And this team is nothing but that. It is 100% fun to watch. And I just wish I could watch it right now because of the stupid blackout rules in Major League Baseball. But I'm going to figure that one out, or I'm just going to go down to the bar. Yeah, leave the feed on for me, bud. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all in the chat. Make sure you tune in next week with our buddy Anthony from the Major League Brews brand, the Beer Bat Enthusiast, all things of the No Bad Hops podcast. We will all talk baseball with him, get his wonderful perspective on that, along with him being the only Yankee fan we ever actually allow on this show, because we do like drinking just as much as we like baseball. Just how it is. Barroom chat for Blue Jays fans. So make sure you tune in every week, and make sure you check out the all-new jaybirdwatching.com, which is including the scribblings of all of our team members at this point. So make sure you goof around and check it out, and we'll talk to you soon. Go Blue Jays. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC, and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider joining to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!